Atelier of Power. Producing Atelier of Power workshop events. Series number 6. Students changing their mind before the course. And we started to meet this subject a little in number 5 as free will staying in pain. Now, who decides to do a course? Why would a person decide to do a course? Now, if the person comes to you as the event producer, clearly some intuitive factor, some symbol has woken up with the possibility of them doing the course. Now, during the course, the person will have to face many emotions that have been hidden. One time a psychiatrist who was registered on the activation course told me the day before maybe he shouldn't do the course because he might be in crisis when he does the course. I said, sorry, it's too late. You're already in crisis. So you wanted to spend a year getting through the crisis or get through the crisis in 2 days by doing the course. But the crisis already, you're in it, or you wouldn't be asking me about a crisis. So he came along and did the course, and he had some extremely tough moments because some of the basic dogma of therapy, he got to question them during the course. And of course, he got through the crisis and he opened up a practice that was even bigger and better, helping people in a more real way than he had ever done before. Now, it was worth the crisis, but yes, for him it was a crisis because it will be using other ways of thinking than he had thought of before. Now, why do many people study to be a psychiatrist, a psychologist? There can be a variety of purposes, but certainly much more than half of them study at university to understand their own dysfunctional family. That they really wish to learn, they wish to understand how come their own family was so dysfunctional. And in almost all cases, the answers to the questions are not in the training. I know a university lecturer in psychoanalysis, who's very professional, but what he uses to help his own patients is things he learned in a Buddhist monastery in Thailand. He doesn't actually use what he studied at university on psychology on his own patients. That does not mean that there are not some good psychological professors who manage to turn out some good products. But just by the word, I have a psychology degree, doesn't mean that you have actually encountered a professor who understands the word psychology, study of the soul. If you take a really good one of the principal basic psychology textbooks, The Principles of Psychology by William James, up to the version 1890, there was much about soul, but the later versions were censored and soul was removed to try to make psychology be a more scientific subject. They took soul out of the study of the soul. That doesn't mean everybody did this, but where they have done this, very often there's a major lack of results. So those people that have studied psychology to understand the soul of their own family find themselves really missing something, and on the way to the course, all of their family suffering is going to disappear and burn away during the workshop. Is going to start to wake up, and they're going to start to feel things moving, like there's mountains moving inside my head. Yeah, that's a really good sign. That means it's going to be a great workshop because it already started first. Another reason why people will change their mind before is that the change will be so different. Most people only understand their own selves or identify their own selves by their ego. The ego being that which they have constructed to be seen, to be understood, to be some visible actor in the stage of life. And this self is going to change in any real workshop. There's many workshops who are really set up to strengthen the ego, to just think positive and everything will be fine and you are the greatest, think these strong thoughts, and as if thinking is actually what runs the body. Thinking might run the head, but really thinking doesn't run the emotional mind, thinking doesn't run the visceral mind. So simply thinking at times accelerates the war between the emotional mind and the visceral mind. So putting thinking separate, dissociated and out of context can be a really bad thing. Thinking while also conscious in their other minds can be a good thing. But when the other minds are at war, which is in the case with almost all people, well, one mind will want to come, the other mind will think, no, that will be too much change. But the main reason that has people doubt is extreme reactions in the family system that someone is going to escape from the slave system of thinking like they have to think the way that the system is meant to think. And that doesn't mean it isn't wonderful for the family when you do escape from thinking, the thinking implants of the family. The very factors that they react to have you not come actually shows that those factors are real to them, and when one person escapes, they will all want to escape. So it's not actually that they don't love you, that they're going to react with great alarm when you start to change. They're just unsure, is this change possible? And they react till they're sure it's possible, and you can be the one that is the producer or that brings the people who first come in, and they learn to demonstrate, well, this change is really great, then the rest of the family can come along as well.